Australian rideshare drivers found to be earning $12 an hour and at risk of harassment and assault. A union survey finds that 17% of drivers for Uber and other services sexually harassed or assaulted by passengers. Uber and other rideshare drivers are earning an average of $12 an hour during the COVID-19 pandemic, and 17% have been sexually harassed or assaulted by passengers, according to a new survey of the gig economy. A survey of 230 workers, 93% of whom work for Uber, has revealed a range of violent assaults, threats, racism, and sexual harassment experienced by drivers. More than half of the drivers said they struggled to pay the bills and buy groceries, and 85% said their wages had decreased while working in the gig economy. The survey, conducted by the Transport Workers Union and the Rideshare Driver Network, also found 36% had been involved in a car accident while working. Wow. Individual responses revealed specific violent assaults and sexual assaults that drivers experienced. One driver told the survey, "I had my breast grabbed by a passenger." Another said a man whipped his dick out during a trip. One female driver told the survey, "I picked up a man who thought he had the right to touch me and to tell me out loud what he would like to do with me rather than go home to his wife." Other drivers said drunk man was put into her Uber by a friend as he was too intoxicated to go himself. "The drunk man came to halfway through the trip and confused me as a woman he was taking home rather than the rideshare driver," she said. "Once we arrived at his home, he refused to get out of my car and insisted I was his date. I was physically assaulted and sexually attacked." One male driver said he was sexually harassed by two women who asked me for my background and then groped him. "I politely refused, saying I was a married man," he said. "They forcefully touched me in my genitals." Another driver said a passenger threatened to shoot me, while another experienced multiple threats with a knife, multiple grabbing and punching. One driver said a group of 4 passengers once told him they would do panel work on my car with my head. She's like, 4 young people were at a pub wanting to get in the car, booked for only 3, he said. "I told they couldn't and started saying they were about to do panel work on my car with my head. If I hadn't pointed out the security cameras, they would have gone through with it." 41% of those surveyed also said they experienced racism. "People say all the time, migrants, cunts, go back to your country," one driver said. Another said, "I've been called black by passengers while working in Queensland, even though I told them I was from Sydney and Australian, and the rest shouldn't matter." 85% of those surveyed said that their wage had dropped over the time they had been driving. The TWU calculated the average hourly rate among the 230 drivers was $12.35 after expenses such as fuel. 67% said they were not provided any additional safety training during COVID-19. Many of the drivers worked for multiple apps, but 93% of those surveyed did some work for Uber, 62% did some work for Didi, and 52% worked for Ola. The National Secretary of the TWU said that the survey results showed that the gig economy needed to be regulated. "We do not believe the Australian public agrees with this treatment of workers in Australia," he said. "This is impacting our economy. At this low-paid, insecure work grows. Workers want jobs, not gigs." Uber disputed the $12 an hour figure in the TWU survey and cited a report by Australian economic advisory firm Alpha Beta that found in Sydney the average earnings per hour for drivers net of cost was estimated to be $21 per hour. A spokesman for Uber said the company had a zero-tolerance policy towards any type of harassment or discriminatory behavior and continued to build cutting-edge technology and features to help improve safety for both drivers and riders. Violence, sexual misconduct, and discriminatory behavior is not tolerated and is in clear violation of our community guidelines, she said. Riders can lose access to the Uber app for reports from drivers relating to inappropriate, discriminatory, racist, or violent behavior. Driver partners have access to many of the same safety, transparency, and accountability features that riders do, such as providing feedback and ratings for every trip, GPS records of each trip, the safety toolkit, which includes an emergency assistance button to help connect people to 000 services if something goes wrong, and the ability to share trip details in real time with family and friends. Driver partners in Australia are insured by Chubb for on-trip accidents, providing different types of payments if they are injured and unable to work. Man, that's not a happy scenario over there in Australia, so hope that Uber start treating their drivers and riders better. Cova, shout out to Cova, my sponsor. Starts at $7 a month if you get wrongfully terminated or deactivated. The company has a legal arm called LegalRideshare. They send out the legal letters, get you reinstated. If you end up in hospital, if your car ends up in the workshop, they kick in and cover 80% of your lost earnings. Now, in Chicago, we have a company called LegalRideshare, which is a law firm that specializes in rideshare. If you get into any bad injury, any bad car property damage, or are out of commission for a while and have high wage losses, they will handle the entire insurance claim for you. And they offer their services nationally. So check them out at legalrideshare.com. Thank you.